50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in, everybody, to a brand new edition of The Dream Wager, episode 534. Today is Monday, June 16th, 2025. And Elvis, how many days away are we from week 0 of college football?
Week 0. Okay.
Week 0.
Okay, that's a little tougher than week 1. I'm gonna say week 0. It's like August. I'm gonna say about 57.
Okay, closer than I thought. 68.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I knew week 0 is like.
It's like a week or two before week 1.
Yeah, so that was throwing me off a little bit. So I was like,
I always think week 0 is week 1.
Yeah,
right?
I always guess. I just wanted to guess a little earlier than I would have thought, because I knew it would have been like around August 20th.
Yeah,
around there.
I mean, football is all the way back, kid. I mean, we'll talk about the UFL. Fuck, they killed us, but we got a great episode for you guys. We'll recap Stanley Cup Final Game 5. Game 4, what a fourth quarter from SGA. That is an MVP performance. Game 5 is tonight. Back in OKC, we'll have picks for that. Got some mega monster trades going on. We had some re-signings. We'll talk a little KD. We'll talk Orlando, Desmond Bane. Shout out DC Defenders, man. Shout out DC Defenders. When I tell you, they unloaded a can of whoop ass on Michigan. I turned it off after half. Yeah. It wasn't a game anymore. Shout out JJ Spawn as well. I don't know if you caught the U.S. Open, but a 64-foot putt to win on 18, $4.3 million off of that putt. So U.S. Open was crazy over the weekend. And like I said, we have Game 5 tonight. Pacers, OKC. Short slate here on a Monday, I think, for baseball. It's only around 7-8 games. Ohtani is back. They said he's only going to pitch 1 or 2 innings, but that is major news as well. And then we got Stanley Cup Finals Game 6. Back in Sunrise in Florida, Game 6 tomorrow night. We'll have plays for you a little towards the end of the show. But I do want to start with hockey. That's what happened last on Friday. Florida took a 5-2 game win in Game 5. And Brad Marchand, I feel like it's just a rebuttaling statement. I mean, another 2 goals. I had to swipe up a plus 450 for him to win the Conn Smythe Trophy because that guy is just phenomenal. Sam Bennett, who is the odds favorite to win the Conn Smythe, he scored another goal as well. Sam Reinhart is good. And they have Sergei Bobrovsky, one of the best goalies in the world. And just, it was remarkable that it took Game 5 for Connor McDavid, the best player in the world, to finally score a game. That was crazy. But what'd you think? And then the over cashes again.
I'll be honest, I was sweating the over, especially, after the second period. I was like, the over is dead. First game, 5 games in, the under was due. And then we got an electric third period, right off the gate. I know both sides started a little slow, but you saw it, with about 9-8 minutes left in the first period, Florida was able to start taking control of the game off that the puck drop. Merchant was able to score off that quick draw. That was pretty impressive.
He's a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog there. He was able to break away like simultaneously while he was dropping the puck. So that was very impressive there. But we've been seeing this all series long. I understand Game 1, Edmonton took control. Then we saw an amazing 3-0 comeback. But besides that, those 2 moments, though, Florida's been in control in these series, and we saw it in Game 5 in Edmonton. So we're gonna see what's gonna be interesting for Game 6. But so far, Florida has been more impressive.
Yeah, they have been. They've been the better team. They're a more physical team as well. And outside of that huge comeback, the series should have been over. Mm-hmm. They've been the better team. If they didn't blow a 3-0 lead, which is crazy. I mean, it happened.
Besides Game 1, they've been looking like the better team.
Yeah, they have been. And Maybe you're wearing red today for the funeral. I mean, you're the only one. I mean, I know I was on Edmonton to start the series. I know a lot of other people were on Edmonton wanting it to come home, but you're like, no. From your eye test, Florida's been the better team all series.
Yeah, you've been saying that Oilers might have the two top 5 players, not just in the playoffs, remaining in the playoffs in the cup, but in the league.
Yeah.
But Panthers just been dominating ever since. I think didn't they go down 0-2 to the Maple Leafs? So
Something like that. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So ever since the game 3 of the first round, they've been dominating. We saw it even in the conference finals. They were dominating. So not surprised, but a little shocked on how well they've been competing against Edmonton.
Yeah, Bobrovsky, Alexei Bobrovsky, the forward, he's been fantastic, really honing in on locking up Connor McDavid. And Matthew Tkachuk, their captain, is hurt. So he's playing banged up, and they're still being able to score. I mean, Brad Marchand, the postseason he's having, he's a Hall of Famer. He's already won a championship, and he's about to win another one. I think they don't want to foresight anything, later on in the show, but I think Florida closes it out, kid, at home. I mean, going back home 3-2. They don't want to travel all the way to Edmonton for Game 7. I know hockey wants that as a sport it's good for business, but I think they're going to go back-to-back, kid. We will see tomorrow night, but that was a very electrifying game. Yeah, you're right. It was 2-0 going into the third, and I'm sitting here like, I know Elvis got plus 116 for the over, but it's not looking 5 goals in the third.
Yeah, I had the 30% profit boost too, so I was
okay.
I needed that,
Saturday though, what a game. OKC, what a fourth quarter. 31-17. That is the fourth quarter OKC has needed throughout this series. What a performance from SGA. Ended with 35. He's top 3 behind Rick Barry and AI for most points in his first finals. So he's out here. Besides that one average game where he dropped only 22 points, 23 points,
24. I think,
24. Yeah. He's had 30 plus in every game. Little push off there, but I like it. They're not calling it. Thought it was a magical performance, and I loved it, kid. What you think?
Yeah. For the one game I stood away from his point total, that one would have pissed me off. Yeah. He would have just snuck in there. But I think we saw SGA at his very best, especially in the fourth quarter when it was crunch time. And when they needed him the most, he just simply took the game over. When he was hitting back-to-back shots to put him up 4, and then they cut it back to 2, then put him back 5, put him back 6, then back to 3, then back up to 5. I knew SGA wasn't gonna let this team lose, and that's what OKC needed. They couldn't go back to Oklahoma City down 3-1.
Oh no,
they couldn't allow that to happen. So the fact that the series is 0-0 now, you just gotta win. You gotta win next out of the two of the next 3, and I think what we saw from SGA and the Oklahoma City Thunder was impressive. Gotta give him his flowers, Jill. I know a lot of people don't love him. But Chet Holmgren, back-to-back doubles, 15 boards, 14 points. That was impressive. I understand people hate him or love him, but what he's doing in his first real playoff run has been impressive so far. J-Dub, Dale, I understand you couldn't get there with the 3-point prop.
0 for 3.
0 for 3, but 8 for 28, 8 for 18 from the field, 27 points. You would love that from your second superstar on the road. And that's his back-to-back games. I think we saw J-Dub score, 26 in Game 3. Now he followed it up with 27 in Game 4, both on the road. I think that was highly impressive. And then, like I said, SGH, Caruso has been a monster all series. I think he's getting a little under the radar.
They're undefeated in the playoffs when he scores 20 points.
As they should, because if Caruso comes off the bench, it goes 7 for 9 from the field. He's going to give you electric plays on both sides of the
and he's locking you up.
Exactly. So just overall an impressive win for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then for the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, I understand he had a little better of a fourth quarter, but you got to put your imprint on this game early on. I think he went into the fourth with just 10 or 12 points. So to me, you could have not easy because OKC's a great team, but if he would have just had his handprint on this game just a little more and took it over, or had the aggression that SGA had, I think Indiana could have easily won this game if we saw more aggressive Halliburton early on and not let the game slip away from him in the fourth quarter.
I thought, honestly, Obi Toppin was probably their second best player outside of Pascal Siakam. Shout out you hit the over on his points. I thought Pascal was
by a half, so.
But still, I mean, I think he needs to be a little more aggressive, Pascal Siakam, because personally, I think he's their best scorer. But Obi Toppin in the second half was lighting it up.
And both sides, too. You know what he could bring defensively at times if he's not, picking up fouls. And still, I don't know what it is. He didn't catch fire, but he 2 for 5 from the 3-point line. You can live with that. We saw him in game 1 when he hit 17 once again off the bench, 7 for 12 from the field. Obi Toppin, man, he's not scared of the limelight. TJ, another 8 points from the bench. Mathurin, he'll probably have another big game on the road after only having 8 in game 4. We saw what he was able to do in game 3 with 27 off the bench. So we know how good both of these benches are. But when you see Obi Toppin give you 70 plus, a Caruso gives you 20 plus, whoever's bench it performs better that night is most likely to win the game.
My thoughts, and I think where they went downfall was when Miles Turner started taking all those threes. 0 from 6 from 3. And some of them were just contested, and it felt like he was just chucking it up.
Yeah, a few of them hit the side of the backboard.
What are we doing here? Go down at the paint. I know he is capable of hitting those shots, but in a big time game on the road or at home, I don't know, man. I don't really. You know how sometimes the saying is, "I'll live with the shot." I don't like some of those shots he's taking if I'm a Pacer fan.
Yeah, if I'm OKC, I want him to keep taking those shots because I think Miles Turner is most effective when he's near the paint. We saw him get a huge putback dunk and rebound in game 3. Look at game 4. They're just 2 rebounds. What player at the 5 is going to give you 2 rebounds in a finals game? That's horrible. 3 for 10 from the field. 0 for 6 from the 3-point line. If I'm Ray Carlo, I'm telling Miles Turner, I think we need you more. You're most valuable in the paint. I understand you can fall in love with that 3-point shot a little too much, and I don't understand you can make it, but instead of shooting it from deep down the middle, focus on the corner. If you can't get your shot on the corner, stay your ass in the paint.
Well, we will have plays for game 5, tonight. Can't wait. Should be a really fun game. Pacers big favorite back at home. We did have some signings and some trades.
Big favorites.
I think it was a 9.5 still.
Yeah, 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5. We did have some signings and some trades that went over on the weekend, so I do want to talk about that real quick. Shout out the Rockets. They've been in the news, obviously, one of the destinations for Kevin Durant. They did re-sign Steven Adams. Steven Adams, one of the strongest players I feel like in the league. 3 years, $39 million. He's staying with the team, and it's a fully guaranteed contract. So I'm glad he's going to make all $38 million of that, which I think he deserves.
Yeah, Steven Adams, a solid role player, defensive presence. When he comes in, he's going to be able to get you multiple chances with an offensive rebound. So I think for this very young Rockets team, I think Steven Adams is a solid and good anchor to have, especially down low for this very young team. So I guarantee there was a handful of teams who wanted to acquire Steven Adams out there.
I mean, he was going to be an unrestricted free agent after this summer, but he's played a key role. He's a leader in the locker room. He's been in the league for a long time. How old do you think Steven Adams is?
Steven Adams played with Russ and Kevin Durant, if I believe. So, 12. I'm going to say 34, 33.
Oh, I thought you were going to say much older. He is only 32 years old. Yeah, he's 31. He'll turn 32 next month.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played with KD and
Russ.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He looks like he's 50 though. He looks so old.
Yeah, but
he does. Let's keep it a buck. He looks old.
You got to say, because I already watched basketball, so I know. Yeah. But for somebody just like a casual, they'll think Steven Adams is 38. He's been in the league fucking damn near a lot of people's whole lives.
Yeah. I mean, he did have surgery back in 2023-24 with the knee surgery. Played 58 games, averaged 22 and a half minutes. He's a crucial part of this team. He's a leader in the locker room as well. So I'm glad he got paid. They had until June 30th, which is, I think, about a little over a
2
week and a
weeks.
half, 2 weeks. Yeah. Houston now has until June 29th to make a decision on Fred VanVleet, 44.9 million team
Yeah.
option.
I think they let him go just because that's a high number, and I think they can rework him. And I sure and I understand, and most likely I think Fred Fleet would understand. You know, not didn't have the best year, and I'm pretty sure Houston will love for him to come back just for at a discounted number. I guarantee if his agent in Houston talks down and be like, hey, let's get a 4 year 120, they will work. A 4 year 100 mil or a
Yeah.
3 year $90 million, save them about 10 to 15 million dollars a year. That will work. But at $44 million a year, I don't think Fred Fleet is worth that much for the Houston Rockets right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So we'll see. And there's
Maybe it's a
interest.
team. Maybe there's a team that like a Utah or Charlotte that might be like, you know what?
That would suck for him, though.
I know, but they might give him 150. That's what Houston did a couple years ago. Look at them now.
Yeah,
Look at
he,
them.
he definitely ain't worth that. We also had a major blockbuster trade. The Memphis Grizzlies are trading Desmond Bain to the Orlando Magic for KCP, Cole Anthony, 4 unprotected first round picks, and a first round pick swap. They're sending the Memphis's number 16 pick in this year's draft. Phoenix's first round in 2026. Magic in 2028, their unprotected first round, and 2030 unprotected first round pick. I like this for both sides. I think Orlando's taken a massive swing here, in a very competitive Eastern Conference. An opportunity to add a championship defensive wing on the other side for Memphis with KCP. It's also dumping his contract as well. He was supposed to make a ton of money, which he didn't have the best year. You talk about Fred VanVleet. KCP didn't have a really good year either for them. So they're dumping that. We'll see about Cole Anthony. We'll see about what these draft picks turn into. But just like OKC said, who cares about these picks? If they go out there and hypothetically win 1 or 2 championships, it doesn't matter in the long term. So I love it. I mean, it's going to be a nice big three of their own, and they're kind of deep right now in Orlando. You got Wendell Carter, you have obviously Paolo Banchero, the Wagner brothers, and then you add a guy like Desmond Bain, who was one of only 3 players in the NBA with 800 three-pointer made, shooting 40% from beyond the arc. Since entering the league in 2020, he's 43% from beyond the arc on catch and shoot threes as well in the last 5 seasons. And that's what Orlando needs. What did we see in the playoffs? Yeah, they won a game, but outside of Paolo and Franz Wagner, they had no scoring. You add a guy like Desmond Bain, who's a top 10, top 15 player in the Western Conference, that is going to add some scoring and a much needed kick for an Orlando team. I like the move they're making, and we'll see what Memphis does. It's on a rebuild, and it kind of shows the league, hey, we're kind of rebuilding. I don't know what they do with Ja. Jared Jackson is in negotiations for a contract. I think he might get dumped as well. We'll see what they do, but you could build around Cole Anthony and KCP as well.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win situation for both sides. I think Memphis kind of understands where they're going. They're not a contender, not the way they're constructed right now. Or maybe the GM woke up and was like, "Is this team the way we're constructed right now ready to compete in the West?" The answer was no, people. We all know this. And why not dealt Desmond Bain? I think you got pretty good uh assets in return for him. I think Cole Anthony, we saw him have a huge playoff game off the bench in Orlando against Boston. We know what he's capable of doing. I think he's a solid role player. Yes, KCP's a little past his prime, but we know when healthy, any given night, he could play both sides of the ball at a very high level. So I like that move for Memphis. And now for the Orlando Magic, I think this piece I want to compare it to the Indiana Pacers and Pascal Siakam, because when Pascal Siakam first got traded to the Pacers, nobody really was like, oh, that puts him over the edge. But that's another All Star caliber player getting added to a already pretty good team, and that's what I think Desmond Bain adds to this Orlando Magic team, a All Star caliber player that's already getting coming into a very good team. Orlando Magic are right there. Balin Picchero is balling. He's gonna be better. Franz Wagner, he's been balling. I think he's gonna be better still. And this team is young. They have a lot of cap space as well. Wouldn't be shocked if Orlando signs another All Star caliber players, or you never know. In the motion for a Kevin Durant, a Giannis, we'll see. We all know they have one of the deepest benches in all the NBA. So to me, it's a win-win because it shows the Magic are trying to compete now, and Memphis are probably, what? Let's take a step back. We have Ja. They see what we could work with Justin Jackson, but at the end of the day, I think the Magic are the winners in this trade, and let's see what the prospects end up be. But I think right now Memphis, you're going into a rebuild.
Yeah, definitely gonna go into a rebuild. We got a comment. But it's the Magic though. Do we really think this move will be a difference maker? The Magic are young. They don't have the vet pieces which you need in the playoffs. I think the only way you gain experience in the playoffs is by being in the playoffs. And I think they got a little taste of it this year with Paolo. Back-to-back years now. So
and not for nothing. Great question, by the way, but in my opinion, yes, the Magic is the Magic, but we could all agree the Magic are a better team today than they were 2 days ago with Desmond Bain. I'm not saying they're going to compete, but maybe in a year or two, look what the Pacers did. Pascal was traded in trade deadline 2024. They're in the NBA Finals 2025. I wouldn't be surprised if the Magic in 2 years from now, in 2027, might reach the conference finals. Who knows? To me, they have a lot of young depth, and right now, not saying
they needed to also trade some of their depth. They had too many guards.
Too many guards. Not saying they have a big three, but they have a solid 3-man rotation around with Paolo, Franz Wagner, and now Desmond Bain.
I like Wagner's brother too, Mo Wagner. You got Jalen Suggs, Jonathan Isaac. I think
Gary
there's potential
Harris.
there. Yeah, Gary Harris as well. Wendell Carter, I'm a big fan of. I think Wendell Carter Jr. is pretty good. I think they could compete. I'm not going to say they're a number 3, 4 seed, but they're definitely a playoff team, and they could surprise some people. No one the past 2 years, no one thought Indiana, outside of people in Indiana. Thought that they were going to make a back-to-back Eastern Conference final run. But outside of Pascal Siakam and I guess you could say Tyrese Halliburton, who was saying that they have a bunch of stars. I could argue Paolo Banchero is better than all of the players on Indiana.
I can't disagree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you add a guy like Desmond Bain who could take some of that pressure off of you. Who's to say they can't knock off the Cavs or the Knicks? They can.
I can't disagree with that. It depends. Maybe they could upgrade the coaching. We'll see about that. I think
they also said that Shams also said the Magic aren't done. They're thinking about pursuing Paul George.
We'll see about that. But at the end of the day, the Magic are improving. They're a better team, and we're not even at the NBA draft yet. We're not even at the start of free agency.
It's trade season, though. I like it.
And they're already improving. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting what they do come July, come August.
And we've noticed Magic aren't one of those franchises that go and make those big-time punches, but they're in win-now mode. They got the pieces. They need another piece or another solid vet. And they're in there.
Yeah, they need like a Bruce Brown, somebody that or Norman Powell from the Clippers.
You're a big Bruce Brown fan.
And I'm a big winning piece fan. A guy that could come in and could, like Alex Caruso. Matherin who could come in off the bench, gives you 20 something. They need somebody else like that because look at it. Look at the Pacers and the Thunder. This is a non-big 3 or dual superstar finals, and maybe that will be the trend moving forward. Look at the Magic. The Magic are making it now. Hey, we don't need to have multiple superstars. We just need to have one and great role players around them.
Can I give you a name because I'm looking at the 2025 free agent class? Obviously, you got Kyrie, James Harden, Fred VanVleet. Those are people making the most money. What about a guy who's only making $13 million? He'll probably demand a little more because he's been good the past few years. A guy like Naz Reid can hit some shots, could play some defense, give you some size down low.
You know who a guy I would like, even though they have a ton of guards, like a Bogdan
Bogdanovic.
He didn't get a lot of playing time. I forgot where.
I don't think he's a free agent, but
I know, but a guy like him that could either start or come off the bench. And
Dennis Schroeder is a free agent.
That's another good player right there. But they have enough guards. To me, they need like a Naz Reid.
What about a Duncan Robinson? Nah. He's a catcher. What about a Tim Hardaway Jr.?
I'll be a good piece. That'd be a good piece.
Derpy comes back and says, honestly, if I'm the Magic, I try to get Durant, even though he won't go. Paul George is not the same guy or level he was 10 years ago. Durant could at least get you 30 still here and there. Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Right.
Kevin Durant came out today, basically like 10, 15 minutes before we started. He came out and said he only has 3 teams he wants to go to. He either wants to go to San Antonio, Miami, or Houston. He said he does not want to play in Minnesota.
And then, in my opinion, out of those 3 teams,
I
think
want
Houston,
San Antonio.
San Antonio will be nice, but I think Houston gives them the best opportunity to compete for a title right now.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Definitely not Miami. And yeah, I agree with Derpy's comment saying Kevin Durant is a top 10 scorer of all time. He could give you 30 a night on a bad night.
And that's the thing. That's the difference between Kevin Durant and anybody else. I think Kevin Durant is truly special just because he doesn't need the ball in his hands to drop buckets. He can literally come in to any system and give you 24 to 28
but
points.
Tell me how exciting KD and Wemby would be.
No.
I'm
not denying it. It might be must-watch TV. All I'm saying is, are they going to be a top 2, top 3 team?
No, but they'll definitely be a top 5.
Houston was a number 2 seed already.
And choked.
Choked. With Kevin Durant, I can't guarantee nothing. All I'm saying is they'll go deeper in the play.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe.
With the Spurs, they'll be a top 6 seed, if that.
Wemby's been with the Monks in the offseason training. I don't think the Monks have ever seen a 7-foot guy in their life.
Oh, yes, they have.
Where?
You ever saw
they don't
Rush
live.
Hour? You ever saw Rush Hour? Rush Hour 3?
That's a movie. I'm talking real life where they probably were looking at Wemby like, hey,
he's dead ass.
Yo, he's tall as hell. Wemby is unlocking a new key.
He's getting his mental right,
bro.
And
he's gonna go
could be
crazy
for the NBA.
Yeah, that's who's back.
Yeah,
Wemby. Wemby is back.
DeAndre Fox, he's coming back.
Oh
from
my
injury.
god! You put KD on that team? Chill.
Castle.
Stephen Castle. We talked about him when he got drafted out of UConn. That kid is
CP3 still on the roster?
Nah, they said
is he a free agent?
I think so. I think they said Lakers are gonna get him because you're gonna team up with Bron and
retire.
Yeah.
Both retire.
Go with you seen Luka in the gym? He bulking up.
I'm not gonna lie, Luka looking good.
Yeah, he is bulking up. What else? Oh, you saw Nikola Jokic? He's out there chilling, drinking.
Good drink.
He's chilling.
Straight out the water, straight to the drink. That's gonna be me.
Derby has a question, last one, and then we'll change topics. He goes, does the real question is, does the King retire or does he suffer in LA again? Nah, he's gonna go back for another year or 2.
I think he suffers in LA again and possibly another year, because I know it might sound cringy to some people, but Bryce has a great opportunity to be one and done out of Arizona. I think his potential might be a little higher than Bronny. And Bryce is built more like his dad, man. I think Bryce right now is 6'7", about. Wouldn't be surprised if he's around 200. Wouldn't be shocked come next offseason before the draft. He's 220, 6'8". So wouldn't put it past LeBron, him playing with both his sons one day.
He's a shooting guard. He just turned 18 2 days ago, I think. Yeah.
Arizona, right?
Yeah. He's 18 years old. He just turned it June 14th. Shout out him. Happy birthday. He's 6'6", 190.
So by next summer, he'll be 6'8", 210. Maybe 6'9".
I gotta see him because what did I come on here and say? I said Bronny shouldn't go to the league. He doesn't even start at USC.
From what I've seen in the tape so far, Bryce potential is up there.
But you know, and I know it's a level. Sierra Cannon is elite, but when you go to D1 to Arizona, there are dogs out there. We'll see.
I can't wait to see him.
I do too. You
'cause
gotta
I
watch
think-
the game.
I think Bronny averaged 4 or 5 points a game, something like that.
It was terrible.
I think Bryce is gonna put up numbers.
He's gonna my stats. He's gonna put up 13 and 6 a game. That's good.
Bryce
That's
might
good.
start as a freshman.
No, he probably will. Yeah, no, he's nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, kid. By the way, all right, let's get to it. UFL, man. Of course, we ended on a losing note. The over was the play. I think they scored like 80 points. DC winds up winning the championship 58-34. They smoked Michigan, man. What did you even watch it?
I stopped watching after the first. Because first of all, Michigan didn't come ready to play. Shout out DC. First of all, shout out us for not getting us. If you faded us from
you were profitable.
From the semis to the championship, I did not get a single game right, people. So if you faded me, great job.
Yeah.
If you tailed me,
bad job.
I will say I'm sorry, but I'm not, because the last 2 seasons we made a lot of money on this podcast doing the UFL. So I was due to have a bad year, so I'm sorry for that, but I'm not sorry for going 0-4 in the playoffs.
Oh, shout out Derby. I knew I liked this guy. He's an Ohio fan, so shout out Ohio State. He was like, it was good to see Michigan not win, which I could agree. It was nice to see a Michigan team not win. But yeah, I mean, my last win came week 10 in the regular season. We didn't get a single game in the semis, right? And then we didn't get one thing right in the championship game.
I think the last week of the season I got Stallions and Battlehawks, because I knew they both wanted the division.
Jordan Ta'amu, what a fucking game. He had 5 touchdowns. He was lighting it up on the air. And surprisingly, the defense for DC came to play, especially early on. When it was over, they really wasn't playing. But
first quarter, you saw, and I'm shocked to say this, DC clearly was the much better team.
They were prepared.
And better coached.
It was so crazy because I thought Jordan Ta'amu was going to win the MVP of the league, but it wound up being Bryce Perkins from Michigan, which was crazy, I thought. But it is what it is. They're both good. I think they both deserve to be in the NFL. Not starting, obviously, but they could be a serviceable backup. And they deal with injuries all the time, so hopefully they do get they get a shot here. But we'll be back next year with the UFL and hopefully back to a profitable season. Yeah, this year was tough, kid, even for Colby.
Yeah, it was a tough year, but that means Vegas is catching on. That means the league shouldn't be going nowhere no time soon.
Hey, kid, we got to go down to Columbus, the shoe for Ohio State, Texas, Arch Manning for game day. Lee Corso making his final decision for picks on game day. It's his last season, by the way.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, legend, right? He's like 70 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be up there anymore, kid. Ohio State, Texas, that's a game.
That's a game.
Ohio State laying 14.
No. Arch. Honestly,
we might.
It depends. If it's like week 2, yeah. If it's like week 9, no. Week 2, I'll give y'all that. Week 9, I think it'll be like 7.5.
No, it's week 1. Texas at Ohio State, August 30th.
What's the spread?
7.5. Let me see if they even have a spread.
They should.
Yeah, they should. Let me go to the sports book while I'm here. Might as well, right?
I'm gonna see if they got it up right now. Week 1. Oh yeah, Rutgers week 1 minus 10.5. You already know.
Do they have it for? I'm out here.
We're looking. We're doing futures right now as we speak.
Yeah. No, I just see like wins.
-3. Ohio State.
Yeah, lay it.
3.5. You said 14.
Lay it.
14.
No.
No.
No,
Give me-
I was saying what I thought.
Give me 10.5 right now.
No, I'll lay the 6.5. We're gonna win by a touchdown.
Give me 10.5.
No, I'll give you 4.5.
I'm
not gonna.
That's what you were saying about 20 seconds ago.
I wouldn't be surprised if we blew them out.
I tell you what. Give me the over 50.5 right now.
We need a night game. A night game would be sick. It's
at 12.
Yeah, it's kind of sucky.
I'm gonna wake up day after my birthday. Watch
watch it.
Yeah, lit. That's a great game to watch.
That's a great game. By the way, like I said, shout out JJ Spawn winning the U.S. Open. He went I think the rain delay saved him. I mean, coming out after that rain delay saved him. What a shot on 15, coming back and then shooting a 64 putt on 18 to win it. 4.3 million off of that win. It was incredible. The night before, he was saying his daughter was throwing up. He had to go to CVS at like 2 a.m. to get her medicine. Comes back the next morning and wins the U.S. Open.
Legend.
I mean, what the fuck? God bless him. But yeah, kid. Did you watch any of the U.S. Open? I know you're not the biggest golf guy.
I'm gonna be honest, though. I had a lot going on. We was, Father's Day, so I was watching the Red Sox and Yankee game. It was an early game too, so with the family, it was out of my control. I had to watch that, but I did watch. I'm gonna say like 3 holes. I think the 7th through 9. That's it.
What a rain delay, though. So it was kind of crazy. But, yeah, shout out JJ Spawn for big shot. I mean, you were talking about the Red Sox. You guys just go sweep the Red Sox. You sweep the Yankees, right?
That's why I'm wearing the shirt, though. Might be the first and last. Might have not been the first time on the pod, but small chance the last time. Honestly, I have hope. We have been hot. I've lost. Half game out of the wild card, so we have been hot. But devastating news still. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I've lost faith in the Red Sox ownership ever since you traded Mookie Betts, a generational player. I mean,
they bag of peanuts.
They care more about Liverpool than they do their own team, and it's kind of sad. I mean, the San Francisco Giants, they acquire Rafael Devers, and we talked about it not just this year. We were talking about it last year on the pod. Pay this man, give him what he wants. They go out and bring Alex Bregman in and say, yeah, you're not playing third. Tensions were rising, saying you're just going to DH. Then he gets some time for the injury. He goes and plays, and he's raking. Like he's the best hitter on that team. And they trade him for Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, James Tibbs, and Jose Bello. I mean, a bunch of guys with over a 4 ERA. I just don't understand. I mean, I don't want to go out, and maybe this is my emotion. I'm not even a Red Sox fan, but are you punting on the season? Because like Elvis said, you guys are playing great baseball. 8-2 in their last 10. They just swept the Yankees. They're above 500. They're in a playoff spot. They're in a playoff spot. Why would you just trade your best player? And honestly, I blame a little on Rafael. How did it get to this point where they're trading Devers when he just came out a few weeks ago and said, no, we're all past that. We're all good. Clearly, ownership didn't feel that.
Dude, this is tough. Just because you know how I feel about Devers. I think he was I'm not going to say our future, but he was a key player that I could have saw being a Red Sox for life. Like a Dustin Pedroia, Big Bobby, Manny, somebody that could have been a Red Sox for the next decade, maybe decade and a half. Because, won a championship, I think it's rookie year. Now, it's tough, though, just because, it's been rocky these past, year and a half with the Red Sox. You want to play third? You going to play first? We haven't played him. Give him the 1-year deal. So, to me, the fact that we never give him a long-term deal after all this, it was more behind the scenes and off the field issues than it is on the field performance. So, I don't know if it's always been dumb in the front office, had a little friction, but clearly it's been some type of issue over the past 4 or 5 seasons because we never was able to get a long-term deal done. And we saw the production. Delver has been the best Red Sox for the last 3-4 years. Mm-hmm. And we yet to sign him or extend him for 5 or 10 plus years. That's my biggest question mark. Why?
He's hitting too. 15 home runs, 58 RBIs. He's hitting 272.
And he started, he didn't hit a home run till like the third week of the year.
Yeah. He had a bad first 2 weeks of the season, but he started turning around. They just signed him a few years back, 8.5 years, $252 million. He was making
a steal.
He's making $15.6 million this year, and then it goes up. Next year he'll make 27.5, and then the remaining from 2027 to 2023, he's making like 31 million. So, I mean, shout out Devers. He's securing another 2 million trade bonus because of the trade, but still, Derpy goes, hey, it could be worse, Elvis. You could be a fan of the Cleveland Indians, who haven't won since 1948. Could be worse.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
I mean, are you done with the Red Sox? Because it doesn't seem like no. I'm talking about like for future, because it doesn't seem like they care.
I tell you what, ever since 2018, it's been hard just because, with Mookie, we just let Mookie go for a bag of peanuts. Now Raphael. Didn't feel much about Chris Sale last year, but 2 years ago, but we saw how he was thriving the first year out of Boston. So to me, we can't keep letting our farm system slip away to other leagues. Because look how many stars, even like I could go back to a decade ago and remember we let young Jacoby Ellsbury go to the Yankees just because we didn't want to pay him as well. So I hope we get out of this trend of developing all-star caliber players, let them be great as the Red Sox for a couple years, and then letting them walk away. I just hope we end that trend because we've been seeing it for a couple years now, and our latest victim is Rafael Devers. We farmed him, came from our farm system, and now in his prime, letting him walk like Mookie Betts.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to find the name of the guy, but Liverpool just signed someone a few days ago for over $100 million. So money's clearly not an issue for the team. I'm just worried that the ownership really doesn't care about baseball. They care more about soccer. So, yeah, I'd be kind of frustrated if I was a Red Sox fan. It sucks too, I mean, he's still not going to play third base. They have a third baseman, but apparently he's come out, and just the way they handled it, like taking him off the plane, putting him in a taxi.
In a Camry.
Rafael deserves.
Not even a Tahoe, not a Caddy, not even an Uber X. Got him in a tintless Toyota Camry. That was disrespectful.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even do that to. I'm not gonna say it, but I wouldn't even do that to some people I know.
Some people which is crazy. And he did come out and say, hey, he's willing to play anywhere, including first base, if it helps the team win. Kind of a change in mind for Rafael. Doesn't it seem like that? And it's crazy because you play the Giants this week. He's going crazy.
Oh yeah, we might have to take a couple home run props.
But yeah, outside of that, kid, UFC card was kind of boring over the weekend. Anything else we missed?
No, that's it. That's it. I think it was overall pretty good weekend. Not the greatest weekend, but hey, we had it was an even Stanley Cup heading into the weekend, and now out of the weekend we had an even NBA Finals. As a sports fan, I'm happy.
Yeah, you gotta love it. It was a very good weekend of sports.
It could have been 3-1, and the Stanley Cup could have been over.
Yeah. So thankfully it's not, and we got a game tomorrow night. All right, kid, before we get to NBA Game 5, back at OKC, a quick word from our sponsor. We're brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavored tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or an elderberry watching Game 5 of the NBA Finals, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. I believe here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Game 5 tonight, back at OKC, 8:30, a little later start time here on the East Coast. OKC laying 9 at the book I'm looking at right now, 9.5, shop around, minus 415 for OKC, plus 327 for the Pacers. Total is at 224.5. Feel like we got to keep taking the Pacers, right? Plus the points.
Look, let's just get.
By the way, OKC covered that game last game. What crazy that they covered it.
We did get there with the -6, 5.5. Whatever you got, people, we got there. One thing's first. There's no doubt that OKC deserves to be favored every game this series. You even saw them in Indiana, the game 3, 4.5, and then game 4 -6. But to be favored 9.5 points in a game 5 against this great road playing Pacers team, to me is a little disrespectful. Give me the plus 9.5 for the Indiana Pacers. Still, we see this team time and time and again not just show up, but show up on the road, and you can make the case they play their best basketball on the road. So I think more of the pressure and the weight on the shoulder is going to be on OKC because they can't lose another home game. It's going to be tough for them not to win this game convincingly. We saw them able to take care of business in game 2. We saw them win a close one with a great performance from SGA to close out the game in game 4. Still, we need a great all overall performance from this OKC team. We don't need SGA. It'll be nice, but if SGA is your leading scorer by a mile tonight, I think OKC Thunder is in trouble. I think the whole team needs to come out and play great ball. With that being said, give me the plus 9.5 with the Indiana Pacers. I think Pascal has a better bounce back game, be a little more efficient from the field. And I think Miles Turner will take a deep breath, maybe hit a couple threes, but also shoot less threes. Give me the plus 9.5 with the Indiana Pacers, and give me one player prop that I like. He's
real quick. Let me tell you before we get to props. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna take the plus 9.5. I got it a little earlier in the day with Indiana. It just feels like this Pacer team, they have a clear identity. They play fast. They play several guys on their bench, and I think it might be whether OKC wants to admit it or not. It feels like they're getting to them a little bit. I feel like they're kind of wearing on the Thunder. And I feel like it's hard not to like this Indiana team. I don't like them. I'll never admit it. But, it's getting somewhat close. And, I think Pacers might be live here. You mentioned it. They play their best basketball on the road. I just don't think the gap between these teams is that wide, where we've kind of seen this team play out 4 games now. So, Indiana 49-25 against the spread when coming off a home loss under Rick Carlisle. Shout out Rick Carlisle, man. He is coaching himself a hell of a finals as well.
A real quick side note, either team is yet to lose back-to-back games in this playoff run.
Yeah. And on top of that, the team Indiana 26-20 ATS as a road underdog of 6.5 points or more under Rick Carlisle. So I don't know. I got to take it. It's just too big of a number. If it's around 4, 5, I get that. I think that's kind of coverable.
Yeah, 5.5 will be my max.
9.5. I get it. They're home. I don't know if it's disrespectful. I just think it's a lot. It's a lot. So.
It's NBA Finals, though. Yeah. It's not a game in February, 2 days before the All-Star.
Any opinion on the total? I'm
leaving
honest, it alone.
The under's been cashing, man. I honestly lean the under just because we've seen both teams slow the pace down just a little bit. I understand in the first quarter they'll probably score 60 plus, but if the one of these teams don't explode offensively and don't go on a huge run, we've seen them in the second and third quarters mostly. The game slows down just a little bit. So at 224.5, probably lean the under. It's the game. The under's cashed 3 straight games, I believe. Only went over at the game 1. So probably lean the under. And then my prayer prop deal, like I said, this player's been 2 for 2 so far. And when he does hit it, he goes over by a mile. Give me Aaron Nesmith over 4.5 rebounds. A little chalky at -140. Game 1 he had 12, and game 4 he had 9. I think he'd be able to get 6 plus in this game. I think they're gonna need him, not just to be involved offensively, but on both sides of the ball. I think they need Aaron Nesmith, Nembhard, Mathurin to be impactful on the boards, getting deflection, and also getting key buckets. I'm not asking neither of these guys to give me 15, 20 plus points, but all of them could give me timely buckets, answer with a big three here and then, get a key steal, able to lock up SGH and not let him explode and take over the fourth quarter like we saw in game 4. I think the Pacers are not just most likely going to cover the 9.5, but might be live once again in game 5. So give me the 9.5 and give me Aaron Neesmith over 4.5 rebounds minus 140.
Derby, you could come back in the chat whenever you want. I like this kid. He goes, who's ready to bet on Angel Reese first shot as a miss?
Oh
I got it.
This guy's a legend. This guy's a legend.
Oh, man, that's fucking hilarious. Those guys who bet on that every game are they're so funny.
Where can I bet at that?
I don't know. I think it's like an underdog thing, or it's like a fantasy,
like
fantasy prop
or something.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's fucking hilarious. She did have a triple double though this weekend.
You know what? Let's give Angela some flowers.
No, I will never. She's
triple-
terrible. She is. You saw Caitlin Smith over the weekend? Caitlin Smith.
By the way, Caitlin Clark had one of the greatest basketball performances I think I ever saw in the WNBA.
Sticking the tongue out. I said, ooh. I
When
said, don't let this girl
when
get
she hit
hot
those
now.
Back to back threes. What,
Crazy.
first or second quarter?
She
I
scored
was like,
12. She scored like 9 or 12 points in like 9 seconds. I said,
Yeah.
oh yeah, she's crazy. She's
Well,
the best
Caitlin-
player in the league, and it's not even close. I don't think.
She's playing like it. I'm
no,
not gonna,
she
I'm not
is.
Gonna, I'm not gonna.
No, she is. You know it, and I know it. You don't want to admit it.
I'm not gonna deny anything, but I'm not gonna agree to anything. All I'm saying is that was the best female performance I might have saw in my own eyes. And by the way, Paige Bucker is quietly giving people
35 a game.
every other game. She's giving somebody 30. But when Caitlin Clark is able to give you 35, 9, and 10,
she would have had double-digit assists if her teammates hit a layup.
Yeah, against the defending champs, best team in the league who hasn't lost a game yet,
Blew them out.
that was impressive.
Sabrina had 35 too.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
And you saw your boy hit a parlay.
Yeah, I know, I did see it. Fuck. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She's probably the biggest star in the state of Indiana. She has to be. She is.
She has to.
She has to be.
I don't even have to check, but I can guarantee she has more followers than Halliburton.
And she has.
She has to.
Yeah, she has to.
Shout out Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, shout out Caitlin Clark.
Shout out Indiana. It's been electric in the state of Indiana.
It is an NBA state. Shout out Larry Bird. Yeah. I'm gonna go Obi Toppin over 10.5 points. Back to this game.
Play this deal. If he does that, the cover looking good. The plus 9.5 is looking good.
He had 17 game 4. He went 7 for 12, and his ability to swing the momentum and the energy. He's hit this mark in 3 of the last 4 games when getting 25 minutes, and I think he'll be able to. He had 25 game 1, 19 minutes, 28 minutes, and 29. It's clear Rick Carlisle trusts him to stay on the floor, especially when they want to keep the pace and kind of push the ball a little bit. So I would even go 15 plus points at plus 300. I think Obi Toppin could give you that. So Ben Shepherd
minutes.
Yeah, Ben Shepherd over 2.5 points at even money. I mean,
come on. We got there. First quarter, we got there.
He's had 9 minutes, 14 minutes, 8 minutes, and 12 minutes through the first 4 games. And he's been quietly hitting this line every time. So exactly 3 or 4 points in each of the contests. All he needs is that wide open 3, and he hits it. So
and they give it to him.
They give it to him. Yeah. So I'm doing that. I'm also going to do Alex Caruso, 20 plus points at 11-1. He's been one of the biggest surprises in this series. He's hit this 20 plus point mark in twice already, dropping exactly 20 in both games 2 and game 4. He was 6 for 11 in game 2, and he was 7 for 9 in game 4. So obviously we know he's a great perimeter defense, but offensively, he steals on fast breaks. And like I said, when he gets the minutes, he's going to get these opportunities. He had 28 minutes, 27, 32, 30 minutes across the four games. I mean, he is out there more than some starters. So he's going to get the volume. He's going to get the time. He's proven that he could get hot from the floor. Alex Caruso for 20 points at 11-1. I like that. And let's just finish it off with Chet Holmgren over 9.5 rebounds at even money. Even with Isaiah Hartenstein back in the starting lineup for game 4, he grabbed 15 fucking boards, Chet Holmgren. So through 4 games, he's averaging 9.3 rebounds per game. So he's putting himself in clear prime positions for missed shots. So I just don't see Isaiah Hartenstein having as much opportunity as Chet Holmgren. He played 22 minutes in game 4, and I just don't think consistently it's going to Isaiah Hartenstein. He's going to limit Chet Holmgren's play. So I think he stays on the court, and I think he gets over 9.5 rebounds as well. Him to lead the series for rebounds, looking good, kid.
Looking great. Minus 130.
All right, kid. Let's see. Where do we want to go? Anything else on the game?
No, that's it. You know, kind of do like you with Chet. I wouldn't be surprised. He has 3 straight games double.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, what's the recorded double? Chet Holmgren plus 125. I like that. Give me Chet Holmgren plus 125 anytime double. I think it gives you at least 14 and 10 again.
All right, kid. Let's go over to the Diamond. We got 8 games here on the Diamond. Like I mentioned, Shohei is making his return tonight at home against the San Diego Padres. But what do we like here on the Diamond for you?
I only got 1 game today, so let's start it off there. Both teams been playing well. Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Miami Marlins. I understand I'm saying the Marlins playing well, but they did win 4 out of the last 5, people. Got to give credit. You got Mick Abel on the mound versus
Sandy Alcantara.
Katara. I loved him a couple years ago. This year, he's been having an off season. Marlins won 3 straight games. I think they do for a loss still. Give me the Philadelphia Phillies minus 115 on the money. As of right now, money is coming in for the Marlins. Minus 110 for the Phillies. Still love them. Give me Abel on the mound. Phillies won 4 straight. I think they push it to 5.
Yeah, I'm taking the Phillies as well. Mick Abel has been pretty good, and Sandy Alcantara is terrible. He's looked good his last 2 starts, but they're against the Rockies and the Pirates. So not taking anything away from that. And he faced the Phillies earlier this year, and he got smoked. So I think the same thing happening again. Phillies are getting hot offensively as well. So Mick Abel, small sample size, only 1 start on the road this year, but it was against the Blue Jays, and he pitched pretty well. And Blue Jays are a much better team than the Marlins. So, yeah, I'm going to take them as well. And then the last play for me, I only have 2. I'm going to take the the Rays. Rays here, minus 122. Rays have low-key been one of the hottest teams the last 3 weeks to a month. I mean, hitting the ball, scoring runs. They're making the pitchers work. And in that run, the bullpen has looked really good. Top 5 bullpen as well. They just swept the Mets over the weekend. Now coming back home, 23-20 straight up at home. Orioles are just averaging 3.6 runs per game on the road. That's just not enough run support to beat the Rays right now. And the Orioles are backed up by a bottom 10 bullpen. So still don't trust them. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Rays. I think they keep it rolling, kid. They're one of the hottest teams. So that is going to be my final play in the Diamond. Anything else for you, kid?
No, that's all, though.
All right, let's go to, and we'll finish it up on the Ice Stanley Cup final, Game 6 in Florida. The cup will be in the arena. The cup will be there. Florida looking to close it out at home, minus 145 on the money line, plus 129 for the Oilers. Total is at 6.5 again, plus 102. Do we make it all 6 games for the over?
I think after Game 5, people, when I thought the under was a definite hit, I was panicking. It was 2-0 after 2 periods, and the game went over. I think the over. We're going to just ride it out for the rest of the series. It doesn't matter if it goes 6. It doesn't matter if it goes 7. Give me the over 6.5 at plus 100. Let's go 6 for 6, people, on the over, and let's add some juice to it, Dill. Give me the Panthers on the money line, minus 150. So give me that with the parlay, plus 222. You could take the Panthers on the money line, minus 150, or you could take the over at plus 106.5. We can have some balls for the last game of the season. plus 222. Over 6.5 goals. Florida Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier in the show, I think Panthers close it up here at home. I think they're just too good. Minus 145 on the money line. I think they're the more physical team. And say what you want, Connor McDavid is the best player in the world, not just the league, the world. But they've done a great job really honing in on him and really not letting him score. Leon Draisaitl's actually been the best player. Shout out Corey Perry, too, scoring some goals. Like I said, ageless wonder. He helped us get the over, too. So, yeah, got to take the over. Maybe I'll sprinkle another on Corey Perry to score a goal. We're getting 3-1 every game on that. So I got to take that. Brad Marchand to have a point or to score a goal. I took him at plus 425 to win the Conn Smythe. So hopefully he scores like another one or two and he wins the Conn Smythe because then we cash. But yeah, I think they're just the best team. As good as Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid are. Connor McDavid is the best player in the world. Leon Draisaitl is a top 3, top 4 player. They can't do it by themselves. They don't have a better team than the Florida Panthers. And that's okay to say. I think two things could be true. They don't have the goalie that Florida has, and they don't have the defense that Florida has as well. They can't do it all themselves. It's unfortunate because, you know, we say it all the time. The best player, it's like when Alexander Ovechkin a few years ago, he was the best player, Sidney Crosby, but they never won. And then they finally got the monkey off of their back. I really hope he wins one year, but I just don't think it's their time. Florida Panthers going to win back-to-back. That's hard to do in any sport. Baseball, basketball, football, especially hockey. Hockey's a tolling sport on your body as well. So, yeah, kid, I'm going to take Florida. Brad Marchand over a half a point. I think he'll score a goal. Give me Corey Perry to score a goal, and I like the over 6.5 as well. You might as well ride it one more time. And we never know if they might score an empty netter at the end. So might help us out, kid. But that's going to do it. Anything else here before we get up out of here?
I got a WNBA play.
Even though they play on Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a Wednesday play. No, it's tomorrow. Yeah. I got Washington taking on Chicago Sky.
Angel Reese to miss the first basket?
Yeah.
Honestly.
You could go that one too. But give me Washington on the money line, minus 150. Don't get me wrong, both teams are bad, but I think Washington might be a little better. Chicago proved me wrong. Give me the minus 150 on the money line.
I was even thinking about playing Atlanta plus 8 against New York. New York coming back home after a tough loss. I don't think Atlanta's that bad. 8-3 on the year. They play some defense. Might be a bad spot for them because New York just came off a tough loss. Coming back home, they might want to really put it on Indiana,
and not for none.
Atlanta.
I understand Minnesota might be the best team in the league right now, especially in the West. But Vegas getting +9.
Vegas is not the worst team in the league.
No, I'm saying Minnesota might be the best team in the league.
Oh, no, I know, but I've read comments that the Aces are like past their prime. They're bad.
They're not as good as they were a year or two ago, but they're still, to me, I think they'll make the playoffs. I think that Joe Wilson is still probably the best player in the league, but can't deny how well Minnesota's been playing. But I think +9 points. I wouldn't be surprised if the Aces make it a little closer than that.
I mean, Golden State +3. I mean, Dallas is the worst team in the league. +3 for Golden State. I'll take them on the money line. Paige Becker's over 18.5 points as well. That's low.
Yeah,
so
she should go 20-something.
They're just so bad. Dallas is bad. She was out here trying to be a vet. They were on the road and they were in the hotel. And Paige came and half of her team was at the pool, like, you know, what girls do. They were like taking pictures or recording, doing some shit. And Paige Becker's like, y'all need to go to sleep. We got a game in the morning. This a rook.
Letting them know.
Best player on the team. All right, kid. Anything else before we get up out of here? Hey, I was doing the schedule. We are a month away from 2-a-days.
Yeah. I just hope tonight's another exciting NBA Finals game. Every game has been pretty damn good except game 2. And I expect them to be like the other games. Pretty close, pretty entertaining.
Yeah. Enjoy the games, everyone. Good luck on all your bets, and we will see you guys on Thursday. Peace.